Alright guys, I think I said this before. There are as many strategies as traders. There is no exception, and that is why it is so important that everything you learned in this class, you take it and you make it your own. So you have to align what you learned with yourself, with who you are as a person. So you learned my trade plan, my setups, my routine, my journaling, and so on. And all of this is working for me, and parts of it will also work for you. Maybe most of it will work for you, but you will have to make adjustments. For example, in the routine, or some of my setups, maybe they don't make sense to you, or they simply don't work for you, because we are rule-based discretionary traders, right? And that bit of discretion can make you or break you. So if a setup doesn't make sense to you, then you just don't trade it. And similarly, the trade plan. I have rules in my trade plan when to stop trading, for example, and you will need your own rules when to stop trading. I only showed this to you so that you basically have a direction in which you can go, but you have to absolutely write your own trade plan, okay? So, as I said, trading is all about protecting mental capital and keeping up your momentum. The faster you can plow forward, both in taking in knowledge and processing that knowledge, and then transforming that knowledge into action and actionable results, that is, the faster you do that, the faster you will become a profitable trader. And you can only do that if you keep your mental capital in check, and your capital as well, of course. So you take what makes sense for you and you discard the rest. So I'm sure when you were listening to my class that some of the stuff made a lot of sense to you, and sometimes you were like, what the hell is he talking about? And of course, sometimes you have to dig deeper and take a closer look at what the concept is behind what I'm talking. But most of the time, if it doesn't make sense to you, then simply discard it. And then the stuff you take, you have to master it absolutely. And as I said, yeah, there are as many strategies as traders, no exceptions, nada, zero. So you simply take what makes sense for you, you protect your capital, you protect your mental capital, you keep the momentum going, and you will evolve as a trader much, much faster. You have to adjust step by step, of course. For example, now what I suggest is that you take one setup. For example, the DCD breakout is my favorite setup. I think it's also the easiest to understand and the easiest to spot. So maybe in the beginning you only trade this one setup, and then you make it yours. You add, for example, a condition that you can only trade the setup if it's at the 50% Fibonacci pullback, for example, or only with the confluence factors of support and resistance and a trend line, and so on. Yeah, and then you really master this setup 100%, and you will see progress. You will definitely see progress. And what I also think is important then to say that sometimes I'm taking trades with a risk reward smaller than 2 to 1. Until recently my threshold was 1 to 1 at least, but I have gone up to 2 to 1, which is now my usual risk reward, unless there is really a AAA setup with tons of confluence. And even if I get a risk reward of smaller than 2 to 1, I will still get in. Alright, but for the beginning, for you guys, because you don't know yet what your win rate will be, I suggest a 2 to 1 risk reward ratio. Then you can be right around 40% of the time, so 4 times out of 10, and you will still make a bit of money or break even. So that is a good threshold. And then you can branch out from there, right? And what I also recommend is that you keep it as simple as possible in the beginning. So when you trade the break and retest setup, then simply trade set and forget. Always put your take profit at the next pivot. always put your stop loss behind the last swing low, and then, or swing high, and then you simply take it from there. Okay, after 50 trades you will very quickly see a tendency, and you will notice what you can improve. You will notice under which circumstances the setup works and when it doesn't, and so on. And then suddenly, hey, you're making a little bit of money. And that's I mean, that's how I did it. Okay, baby shoes, baby steps, and just taking it slow. And then once you have something that works, then you pound on it, okay? All you really need is that one setup. And then you can develop further setups, but you're already profitable. Then you can think about career paths in this industry, sustainability, scalability, and yeah, more about that in the next video. So again, to repeat, because this is so important, you take what makes sense for you, you make that your own, then you master it, and then you only take the easy trades. And then you will very quickly develop into a at least break-even trader. You will keep your momentum, and you will keep evolving and developing your style and yourself as a trader, and you will most importantly keep your mental capital and your motivation, because once the fire is extinguished, we are done as traders. All right, once you don't like to trade anymore, once you start hating it because you lose so much money or you put so much time in it and you're not moving forward, then you essentially lost. All right, then you become another number in the statistic. So please do as I say, and I promise you will see the results. Be patient, be diligent.